Hi, this is Vivian, and I am the author of The Silent Christian and Its Impact on a Nation. Now, I wrote this book a couple of years ago. Here we go, so you can see your book. I wrote this book a couple of years ago. I released it during the pandemic because one thing that I noticed is that Christians are too silent. We're too quiet. Our voices are not heard and our actions are not seen. Um, I could be considered one of those people who goes in the church and I fit in wherever I can. I'm a multi-talented person, and if I see something that needs to be done, then I put myself in that place because I'm trying to use everything that God has given to me. But today I want to talk about a very controversial subject, and that is abortion. As a Christian, we know that God tells us that thou shalt not kill. And please don't hit the next button to go to the next video. Hear me out for a minute. He tells us that thou shalt not kill. He told Jeremiah, he said, I knew you when I formed you in your mother's womb. So that means that when Jeremiah was in his mother's womb, that God knew him. As far as God was concerned, Jeremiah was a person. Every situation of abortion, I don't believe, and maybe I'm naive, but I don't believe that it is because I just don't want this child or um, it's for, it's not a decision that is made lightly. I think there are a lot of considerations when it comes to an abortion. My problem with the abortion issue is we have politicians making decisions that should be made by medical professionals. They go to school for, after they get out of high school, for 8 to 10 more years, maybe even more. I don't know. I'm not a physician. I'm not trying to be a physician. They got people out there that aspire to do those types of things. But they spend a lot of years studying the human body, studying, how fetuses and stuff are developed and how they grow into babies and all of that stuff. They are the professionals. I don't know any medical politicians. There is one, but I'm not going to say his name because there is one. But there are tons of politicians making these decisions that I feel should be made between a doctor and a parent or the family. Um, Even although the Bible tells us that we should not kill, I think a definition of what it means to kill um, and an abortion, I think they are two different things. There are times when the Roe versus Wade ruling was overturned and abortion became illegal in some places after a certain number of weeks. Um, I was reading stories. I don't know about you, but I was reading stories where women were carrying dead babies in their womb. And anything dead on the inside of you, if you don't get it out, it's going to kill you. I've read of instances where women would lose their life if they carried a birth to term. I've also read issues where some women just felt like this just wasn't the right time for them to have a baby and they wanted to have an abortion. But I often ask myself, who am I to tell you what to do with your body? That's between you and your God. And if you don't believe in God, that's on you too. I believe in God. Um, I think that those types of decisions are to be made between a physician and the individual or the individual's family. And I don't think government should have any place in that decision. And I think that abortion has been, um, I always say a lot of things are just a distraction to keep you from paying attention to what else is going on, but that's just my opinion. But in abortion, I think it's a personal decision. I think it's a personal decision. You know, I can't tell you, you got to have that baby, you're going to hell. I can't take care of your baby. I can't take care of you. Vivian cannot take care of your child, and neither can Vivian take care of you. You got to make the decisions that are right for you. I wish that we had more things in place as Christians in our churches that teach our young children about abstinence, about making better choices, about focusing on the things that are more important in life than just having random sex and getting pregnant and running out and getting an abortion. I think that as a Christian, we ought to be teaching them, giving them the tools that they need so that they're able to make the better decision. Because if you have sex unprotected, you run a high risk of becoming pregnant. So when I talk about the silent Christian and its impact on a nation, it impacts our youth when they don't know what alternatives or the consequences of their actions. And I don't think it should be, you shouldn't do this. I think it should be something that's set down, something that is taught, and being open and non-judgmental. We got to tear off that you shouldn't do that attitude. I wish I had a word for it. Or you need to keep yourself until you get. We need to, like we all that in a bag of chips. Sweetheart, you having sex? Let me tell you what happens if you have a baby. First of all, you gotta buy Pampers, okay? They cost X number of dollars. You gotta buy food for the next 18 years for this child. You gotta provide a roof over your head. Because if you think you stay home with your mama, a lot of mamas out there be like, not gonna happen. Some of them will take care of you, but why put that burden on them? You got to educate and teach those kids. There are a whole lot of things than just having a little cutie, wootsy baby girl. Some of you out there God has put into place to help these young girls to make better decisions. Some of you guys, God has blessed and anointed and empowered to help these young men to make better decisions. It's not just a woman's job. It's not just a man's job. It's all of our jobs. And I take that back. I take that all of our jobs. It's the man's job and the woman's job. Because there are only two genders, male and female. That's it. I haven't read any other ones out there. But we got to teach our children how they can deal in the world today. And I know it's difficult for kids even to talk to their parents. But some of you out there can be that sounding board for some youth. Like I said before in another video, go to your pastor. Take the time to map out a whole program. Take it to your pastor. Say, look, this is what I want to teach. X, Y, and Z. We can do permission slips if you want to, because we want to be decent and in order in whatever we present to our leaders. But have your stuff together and present it. You might do this once a year. I'm going to go down the street to this church. I'm going to go across the street to that church, around the corner to this church. There's one little concept. God has a plan for you. And when we're silent and we don't do what God has called us to do, we have all these things such as teen pregnancies, adult pregnancies, and then abortions. And we got to make those decisions. Let's keep them away from those decisions. Stuff happens. Somebody gonna fall up and get pregnant. It's just gonna happen. Ain't nothing you can do about it. But what do we do about it after that? We got to become a community. God said the greatest commandment is to love God with everything in you and love your neighbor as you love yourself. And those two commandments fulfill all the laws that were written by the prophets. He said, fervent love covers a multitude of sins. If you call abortion a sin, show some fervent love to this young woman or this young man. Fervent love. Love. It sounds so simple, but we have made it so complicated. So I'm just going to sign off right now. Regarding the abortion thing, I personally believe that it's a decision that should be made between a medical physician and the individual or family that is involved, and not a politician who has zero experience. That's my stand on abortion. Even knowing that God says, thou shalt not kill. That's my stand on abortion. That it should be a decision made between a physician and the patient. So I'm about to sign off, and I hope you all have an awesome day, and may you be blessed. Find out your purpose in life. And if you don't know, I'm a life coach too. I do that too. You can hit me up on my website, which is christiancoachvivian.com. Have an awesome day. God loves you, and so do I. Bye-bye.